close-up of you. There you go. We're rolling whenever you're ready.
So about a month and a half ago, I heard those 3 words that no one ever wants to hear, and I didn't think I would ever hear them, or hoped that I, along with nobody in my family, would ever hear, but I got to hear the words, "You have cancer." This is basically something that's been going on for about a year and a half. I have been getting blood tests annually for about the last 4 or 5 years, and about a year and a half ago, my PSA test, which basically shows if you might have cancer in your prostate, came back that it was gradually going up. And at first my doctor didn't think anything of it. He just watched it, and then a year later it went up again, and the doctor said, "We probably should send you to your urologist to find out what he thinks about this." I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I'm always optimistic, so the first thing I thought, oh, it'll end up being nothing. So I went to the doctor and urologist, and he gave me an exam and said, yeah, I don't like the way this looks, we probably should do a biopsy. And even though I hear biopsy and all that stuff, I still am thinking, okay, everything's gonna be fine, this is not gonna be anything. So I get the biopsy done. When I come into the exam room with the doctor again and sit down, he said, "I'm glad we had the biopsy because you have cancer." So still glass half full type of guy, I'm thinking, okay, well, it won't be bad. It'll be something that they just have to watch. Unfortunately for me, it ended up being a high-grade cancer and a fairly aggressive form of cancer. So I have to do something about it fairly quickly, and over the last month and a half, I've been seeing doctors and radiologists, and truthfully, I've seen more doctors in the last 2 months than I've seen in my entire life. And I don't mean that figuratively. I'm a fairly healthy person, and literally I have seen more doctors in the last 2 months than I've ever seen in my entire life. And a lot of people ask what were my symptoms that made me decide to go and get checked. I didn't have any symptoms. Nothing. I feel as good now as I've ever felt. If I hadn't been getting yearly checkups and having blood work done, I would never have had any idea that anything was going on. So the good news is they caught it early. Something that maybe if you're watching, for you to learn, if you're a guy and you're over 50, start getting checked. If you have a history in your family of prostate cancer, at 45, start getting checked. And if you're a woman watching this, make your guy get checked. Some way, somehow, drag him if you have to. Because like I said, I had no symptoms. I would not have known, and if I had not been getting checkups, I would have cancer in my body right now. It would still be a high-grade cancer, fairly aggressive form. It would be growing, and I would have had no idea whatsoever until it finally overtook it enough that I would have had symptoms, and by then I would have had a lot more issues to deal with. So the thoughts and prayers, I welcome them. It is a little bit scary, and I just want to hope that I can get it done, get it over with, and that best case scenario, everything is done after the surgery. But that's what's going on. That's why I'm going off the radio, and just felt that I share everything else with my life with all of you, the listeners, that it was important that I share not just the good, but also the bad. And unfortunately, this is some of the bad stuff. And I'll be going off the air for a short time for the surgery, which will take a couple of days in the hospital, and then a couple of weeks of recovering at home, and then should be back, at least on a limited basis, coming back in and waking you guys up every morning again.